Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in today's call of Your Divine Uniqueness. Thank you for your presence, and really happy to connect again. And also welcome to those who are new to our show. And so very happy that Denise Ricard is back on the show. I think this is our third call with her, or fourth. Like I remember the feedback that's received from you, whether on the calls or from those of you who worked one-on-one with her and using her programs. It was really, how to say, really inspiring, and the experiences were really powerful. So I'm really glad that first I love her message and the work, because I experienced it myself, and I love how like also when I receive great feedback from you, from our community. And because this is why we do these shows, and we try to serve and inspire as much as we can. So very happy that she's back. And today's call will be about how wholeness is a necessary ascension state of being. So this is, for me, I feel it's very, very important subjects. And I mean, it's related to everything in our life, but especially now, because like the duality of the human experience is getting stronger and stronger and louder, and we see that, and it can create some confusion and separation as well. And understanding how we can embody our wholeness and bringing that, like sharing that in our life, and also bringing unity in our life, it's very crucial and very important in our evolution as like individuals, and also as collective. So I'm really excited about the subject, and also looking forward to the messages and guidance and healing that we will be experiencing with Denise today. And and also we'll have a Q&A where you can ask your questions. So as always, if you are on Zoom app, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press *9. And if you want to write your question, you can type those on the chat boxes on YouTube or on Zoom app. And for those of you who are new to Denise, she is the galactic numerologist, light language sacred codes transmitter, divine channel, and intuitive soul path coach. And and that's Denise. Welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
Thank you, Monsef. It's so good to be here again with you. And I love your beautiful energy. Thank you for all of that feedback. I'm receiving that. And I'm just receiving from you and this community, because this is how we support each other, and you doing this and having all the speakers and all the topics just gives people an opportunity to step in and everybody to share. And so we're going to be doing a lot of sharing today as well with the Q&As, and just to find out like where people are at, and also to know that as we're in this time together, that there's energies that are streaming through from me and from galactic numerology, and in particular Zero Wholeness from galactic numerology. And if you're not familiar with galactic numerology, it's a new consciousness, but imbued into numbers, and there are activations of the numbers through 0 through 44, and each number represents a quality, and the quality is, when you hook it back up, that's what the activations are for, is to bring that back into wholeness. And so wholeness, what we're talking about today, wholeness is imbued in all of the numbers. It's actually the result of coming back together in each one of the number energies and qualities. When I say qualities, I mean like 3 is flow, 8 is clarity. So these are qualities that become whole within your being, so that you're able to be on this earth and kind of circumvent or be able to see the higher purpose. Really, it's about being in the highest energy and seeing the highest purpose and being able to step out of judging situations, which is duality. And so we're going to be talking about wholeness today and what it is, and then also what like duality is, and then also what you're experiencing in the world. Like if you're here today on the show with Monsef and myself, you're a conscious being, and you're on your path. And we call that the path of ascension, because we're physical bodies that have our God presence. And then what we're here on the earth to do is to embody more, like fully embody our God presence, and then be able to walk the earth in wholeness. And that's how you do it. So there's this resurrection of remembering who we are, because there's been this forgetfulness and this living in duality. And so there's this resurrection of that remembering of ourselves as a unique God presence. And then being creators and walking on the earth, and really heaven on earth. And that's what the seventh golden age is all about. We are all resurrecting that remembering and that connection to our God presence. We are also ascending. We're becoming lighter. Even our physical bodies are becoming lighter. And our physical bodies in wholeness, in the natural state, are not supposed to age. We are in our perfect state. Our bodies are hosting our God presence and can be youthful and radiant and beautiful. And because it is like when you hear about the temple of the most high living God, that's what it is. Our bodies are meant to be a temple. So that's like a little background. And many of you may know this or have awarenesses of this. And so as we're going through life, we're on this path of ascension. And so in the ultimate path is union and wholeness. And yet we're living in a world of duality. As you mentioned, Monsef, you said, how do we do this? We're living in a world of duality. And really so when the concept of wholeness first came through to me, I didn't understand it, right? Because I was trying to understand it with my mental mind. And it was like, okay, it's everything together, like all of it together, everything. And like, if you look at the yin yang symbol, it's like it all comes together, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking, so that the denser stuff with the lighter stuff, like how does that work? And really, when things come into wholeness, when they're in wholeness, it's polarity. So it's like a good example is the divine feminine in wholeness and the divine masculine in wholeness. Both parts are in wholeness and they come together as one. And then duality is illusion, it's separation. So then it like pulls apart that wholeness. And this is what we've been living in for thousands of years. And so the world says, well, something is good or something is bad. So there's a judgment about something. And that was another thing I didn't understand. I was like, well, aren't things either good or bad? And really, when you step out of that duality of them being separate, you're seeing it in wholeness and saying, well, I'm not going to judge this because something is happening, like something, a challenge in our life, and it's happening for a purpose. What is that purpose? What am I supposed to be learning from this? And so that's what it is to be living in wholeness, to be stepping outside of the duality. And it's quite challenging because the world operates that way. And yet more and more and more, and we are in an amazing week here, this particular week that we're in when we're on the show, where there's this 10-10 portal. So it was October 10th. So there is this portal of energy each month. There's 1-1 and 2-2 and 3-3, 4-4. It goes all the way through to 12-12. And so this particular week is the 10-10 portal of infinite wholeness. And what that is an opening of like a really concentration of energies, because when you have these portal days each month with the date, it's like a momentum of the energy that's coming through for a particular date. And it's not really attached to the date, but it's the way it works in this world. So if some of this is not, if some of this, if you're wondering about what does this mean, certainly ask questions and we'll have time for that. And yet also to get out of the mind and just allow, like a lot of times when we're receiving consciousness information, to be in our hearts and to really allow that to come through. And what is bespoke for you? So there, could be 100 people listening to this, and for each one of you, for each one of us, it comes through in a very bespoke way. So I'm also going to have you just take a few moments to just breathe in and out, because there's a lot of energy streaming through, and there's an infinite amount of energy streaming through, and yet there's like these streams, these nuggets of wisdom and wisdom and which is light and love, that's streaming through just for you. So you may even want to just take a few moments to just set that intention that what is highest and best for you is what you're receiving in your heart, and then allowing in that receiving for that to unpack for you and reveal itself to you in unique ways in your life. Because when we have these different tools of ascension, there's many of us. There's people who write books about ascension or are speaking on these types of events and gatherings, or have programs or whatever. There are these tools. And so, and as you know me as the numerologist, that may have been like something that drew you in, because there's numbers and you resonate with numbers, and you resonate with the higher states of consciousness. So just allowing to come through and to receive and to reveal to you all that is yours. And knowing that as we're here together, that we're in a sacred space. So we're always in a sacred container. So I always create and call in a very specific container for these energies. Every time I'm on an event like this and we're gathering, or with clients, or even for events in my own life, like create containers, because a lot of times things that continue to unfold beyond the happenings of whatever's happening in these now moments. And that allows that to just naturally unfold, because within these containers, I always call in the highest and the best, and I call in all the divine energies. And so just allowing yourself to know that you're being held in a very sacred space as well. Just breathing that in and out. And the energies, the galactic numerology are activations. There's activations, and that is part of what I'm offering today, and we'll talk about that later. And yet, also the energies are present. The energies of wholeness are streaming through here, also to assist you in maybe unlocking some of the blocks around wholeness. Like, and when I say blocks, like maybe it's just something that is wanting to shift in your consciousness that is maybe keeping you stuck in duality, or maybe you go in and out. Like sometimes you feel like everything is working and other times it's not. And there's kind of like a roller coaster. So just when you understand the energy, and not in the mental mind, but from your energy body and within your heart, and then your heart is working with your higher mental mind, which is part of your God presence. So when you've got that going, then that allows freedom and movement, more freedom and movement of that energy that can sometimes get stuck. How does it get stuck? Because walking and living in a world of duality, where we have relationships with other people that are operating in duality, and that means like maybe fearful of something, maybe of a virus, or of how money is acting out in their lives, whatever it is that seems to sometimes like maybe bring you right back in, and you don't want to be there. You just really want to be in the wholeness of it. So there's also when you are like every day, in the morning, I take time to set my energy and set my space and call in the highest and best for my day. And doing that also allows you, in whatever way feels right for you. It may be that you do decrees or prayers. Maybe you're sitting in meditation with an intention. Whatever it is, just setting your space helps so much also to know your space, to get more and more familiar with your energy. And so in taking this time, quiet time, and it's called going within, then you are in a place and space where you are connecting to that inner guidance, to your higher self, your God presence, your I am presence, your Christ presence. It's all that God part of you that wants to speak through you and help you in your day. So it's vital. It's like spiritual nutrition. It's vital to be setting your energy, your space every day. And then it's like the cherry on top, like at the end of the day, just calling back all of you, like when you're out, sometimes you might feel scattered because you've been in conversations or you've been busy. Your life is so busy and you were here and there and doing whatever. And just taking time to call all of you back to yourself. And you can just even say that if you don't understand what that means, you'll just, all of a sudden you're going to feel like, oh, like, yes, settled. You're going to feel peaceful. And then gratitude and gratitude throughout the whole day. Every time we're in gratitude, we're just drawing more to us as we send it out, and we're asked to receive that. Beautiful. So just as I'm tapping into the energy of everyone who's tuning in, whether you're live or even at another now moment, like all that energy, because we're all in oneness, we're all in wholeness. And that energy is like, as this is streaming through, it's like, yes, there's just this a sense of peacefulness that is emanating out from you. So it's so beautiful. I just wanted to reflect that back to you, to all of you. So just taking a few more moments here, and then we're going to come back into your space. Just coming back into where you're at fully. I'd love to hear from you and ask you, what does wholeness mean to you? What does wholeness mean to you? What is your understanding of it? How does it reflect in your life?
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Denise. And yeah, everyone, you can share or answer Denise on the chat, or maybe raise your hand. And for me, like first, I really enjoyed the process and also the guidance that you shared about what is wholeness and embodying it, even though like we see lots of dualities and things like that. And Dima, she wrote, when I am in conversation with God.
Yes, that's because you are a unique God presence. And so when you're in conversation, you're in union with your God presence and source, like the uniqueness of who you are, and then your connection to source, the greater of all. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you.
And yeah, maybe a question or comment for me about wholeness and especially in relationships, like all kinds of relationships, like when we co-create in something that's all parts wanted, it feels easier and flowing. But when there is maybe different opinions or different desires, then sometimes we need to create, for example, boundaries or speak up. And it feels like there is either we need to make effort to do that, or it feels like not very strong separation, but there is some energy of separation here. So how to approach that from wholeness, like still be able to relate to others in all those, like the easiest and the challenging parts, and embodying wholeness in both sides.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that question and that concept, because it's it seems, is it even possible to be walking around in wholeness in this world of separation? And it is. So if you could imagine that, and sometimes the word, like, we use unity, we use sovereignty, like when we are whole within ourselves, then that's how we approach the world. That's how we approach relationships. So when there is, like you said, it's interesting. Setting up boundaries it could be looked at as like a duality thing, right? Because a boundary is like a separation line, right? And what happens when you are coming from a place of wholeness and unity within yourself, then it just naturally emanates around you. It emanates around you. And then that's what you're sending out. And so you may notice that you're observing something. Like there may be a relationship where somebody doesn't agree with maybe your consciousness and your spirituality, or with actions that you're choosing to take, because when you're in your sovereignty, when you're in your wholeness, you are coming from the truth of you. And sometimes coming from the truth of you to somebody who doesn't understand that will create something in the other person that may be like some fears. Like a good example would be in my life, when I knew that first of all, I was in a marriage that ended in divorce, and I was consciously waking up, and at the end of the marriage, and of course, because that's why I chose to end the marriage, because I was waking up to it, and I was like, oh, this is not resonant with. It's not resonant with who I want to be in my life and how I want to live my life. And so when I made that decision to get divorced, there was like family members or friends who had gotten divorced and maybe it didn't go so well. I was getting that like kind of reflected back to me, like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? How are you going to survive on your own? Like there was that duality that was coming through in other people's fears. And so for me, it was like really just standing in wholeness and standing in my sovereignty and saying, I know that this is the right decision for me and for my children. And in doing so, and following through with that, and yes, it was very bumpy at the time because I was not where I'm at right now. And so sometimes I didn't see the higher purpose of it. And so I was going in and out, in and out. And yet when I really focused on that goal of staying true to myself and moving out of that, everything opened up for me. Just that's what happens. Everything opens up for you in your life. And so the more that you, to answer your question, Mansaf, the more that you really focus on embodying your God presence, and that God presence is the presence that's acting in your life. So you're in wholeness. You're acting out in the world through the physical body as your higher self, as your Christ self, as your I am presence. As you're doing that, then you are emanating that out. So you're helping others. And also eventually, and you start noticing this, that the duality is outside of you, and you're just observing it. It's not really affecting your own life.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And just recently I had an experience like that. Because like you said, when we experience more wholeness or more expansion, it affects how people connect to us. And there were some people that I know that every time we met, like I received a lot of judgments related to my decisions in life in general, and spirituality, etc. And it was like too much. But recently, when I met, I was like really surprised, like so much respect receiving from them. And yeah, I was really surprised how they changed without me saying anything. So it's sometimes like we need to maybe take action, create boundaries, but other times it's just the energetic shifts that happen within us really affect how others relate to us. So yeah, I really loved what you mentioned now.
Yes. So also, and to thank you for saying that, because so when like what you're saying is the boundaries, basically also it's allowing others to see what you are about, what your truth is, and what you absolutely will not step into. And so when it's, and that's also being clear to people. And when we're clear to people about who we are, what we will do, what we won't do, when we're clear to people, it really makes relating to others easier, because they don't have to guess where we're coming from. They know where we're coming from. They may not agree with it, but they know. So that's so key. So I'm so glad you brought boundaries back up again, because it's so key. Because when you're really coming from who you are, the truth of who you are, like that's what the truth of who you are is, what makes you happy. It's what makes you happy in the world, not what somebody else thinks you should be doing. And not just somebody in your family or your friends, but like society, all of that. And so much of that has already been transformed and transmuted, because everybody is waking up. Everybody is waking up. And so we're going through this ascension process. And so when you're standing in your truth, then it just makes everything smooth, and it's also modeling to others. So it's really helping others. And the other question I wanted to ask, I did ask, like, what does wholeness mean to you? And also I'd like to know, like, sometimes we say, gosh, I feel really whole now. Like the feeling of I feel whole. Like, what does that mean to people? I want to know, because that feeling is such a key. Our feeling body, it's a little different from our emotional body, because our emotional body is like the expression, like fear or joy. The feeling is the energy of it. And so when you're feeling wholeness, that's kind of like the attractor. That's how you manifest that same. So if you're feeling sad all the time, you're just going to keep attracting things that make you feel sad. If you're feeling happy, you're going to keep attracting things that make you feel happy. So what does it mean to you and to anybody else here who wants, what does it mean, I feel whole again? Like, how does that feel? How does that feel? And what does that mean to you?
Yeah, everybody can share answer on the chat box. For me, like being whole, it feels like trusting the way my life unfolds. And there's some, how to say, like more peacefulness, more or confidence. So that's being whole, and also accepting others, even if they are different, like trying to see behind the veil. So the image wrote, it feels free. The scene wrote, healed, and all of self feels loved and peaceful.
Yes. Yes, beautiful. And really, it is an expression of what love really is. And we could have like a whole nother show on what divine love is, not earthly or what we've been taught, so to speak, but really what we feel inside. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And Linda Schertz, at peace and calm and balanced, surrounded by love.
Ah, yes.
And we have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I just as that energy is coming through, I'm just like, yes. It just, it's like, it's so peaceful. I was just talking to somebody the other day, a lady I've known my whole life. She's older than me. She was our neighbor. I was a child and she was an adult. And so she was in so much fear because she had something on her face that wasn't, she had to go to the doctor, something on her skin. She's had skin cancer or whatever before. And she was just so tight. And I said to her, I said, you are whole. You are whole. And just release the fear that it might be something that it was in the past. Like if something shows up on her skin, it's like she immediately goes into that reflex of, oh my God, it might be what it was before. And when I said to her, I said, it just, if you can release that fear and just allow yourself to know that your body can heal itself, and that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry because you don't even know what it is yet. And she started crying because she said, thank you so much. I felt and I saw her physically relax. Like she said, you're right. She said, you're right. I was going right into thinking it was something, and I don't even care. She said, I don't care what it is, because I'm not going through any painful procedures. Like she's at that point now. And there was just that peace, that love feeling. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. And Destiny shared any insights on how to make peace with an aspect of self that requires knowing she is loved and is perfect.
Yes. Can you read that one more time?
Any insights on how to make peace with an aspect of self that requires knowing she is loved and is perfect?
Yes. And so what's coming through, because this answer could be a book, because it's such a beautiful question that contains so much. And so we're just gonna channel something through for you, some wisdom for you. And what's coming through for you in particular is that reconnection, like getting into your heart. What does that mean? Because we often say that, like, get out of your head and get into your heart. Getting in, like just going in within and letting go of the outside world. So it could be just a quiet space. It could be a peaceful place in nature, just going within. And for you in particular, it's about opening up to that connection. and allowing yourself to just feel and receive that connection. So it's not even something that you have to do. Like you'll be informed. Like we're always informed about, okay, do we need to take action on something? But to know what to take action on, we first have to go within and just be, just allow, and just let the mind go and just connect to your inner resources is what's coming through for you. And that's for everyone. And yet that question and bringing that through is bringing through this particular bespoke stream of divine wisdom that wants to shine a light for you and for anyone else that it resonates with. Yes. Any other questions about this? And I also wanted to ask, what areas of your life, like in general, what areas need to come back into wholeness? Like what do people feel is just constantly in duality? And in being a little bit more specific than just like relationships, what areas of life need to be brought back into wholeness?
Yes, everybody, you can type your answer. First, Destiny shared, thank you so much. And Dima shared, my health.
Your health. Okay. Yes. All right. And then, so like in the area of health, and that could be like physical health, it could be emotional health, it could be mental health, like health in general. To be in wholeness about health is to be knowing that you are already whole. To be knowing that, to be, and when I say knowing, it's a belief, and that's belief is galactic number 2. So belief in wholeness is what galactic number 2 activation like hooks up for you, like that belief that that no matter what is going on, that you know. And so with health, in the area of health, wholeness is knowing that you're already whole, and that when something comes up, especially now, this is happening to a lot of us, that like you may, if you have symptoms of like a cold, that you can label it in duality and say, I have a cold, or you can say, I'm releasing. Like as we're rising in our consciousness, our physical bodies have to release. The more light and the more love, the more high consciousness we bring in, the physical body cannot hold on to it. And to not go into fear that, oh my gosh, I'm sick. So to be in the wholeness with health is to know that you're not sick, that you're whole, and that something that isn't in wholeness is asking to be released from the physical body. Does that help?
Yeah, Dima, we'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, so the short, love that.
Beautiful.
I am releasing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not I'm sick. It's more like I'm releasing. Yes. I say that to my family now, and they're like, okay, all right. That's what she says now. Okay. And they believe me, because that's the other thing. Like there's this belief that if somebody is sick, that they're going to give it to someone else. I mean, talk about a duality fear it's a belief system in duality, that if somebody else is sick, you could catch it from them. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. So you can be exhibiting symptoms of coughing and blowing your nose and releasing, letting the water element of your body help release those denser energies. And you can be around others and they're not going to get sick. They're not going to get sick. I use that word. I'm just using that word because that's what they would use. That's what the outside world would use, is what I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. And Pippa shares to be in wholeness, to trust myself, self-care, self-love, and accepting.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Pippa. And Melissa, yes, finding old trauma I thought healed is coming back, affecting all bodies. I am whole.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, that is another aspect of as we're ascending and we're bringing in more light and what's like some of the trauma or imprints that may have come into our physical or energy bodies from past lives. Now, past lives are also not in the past because that's not how it works. It's everything's happening at the same time, which was another concept. I'm like, what? So I had to get out of my head about that. But so we're multidimensional beings, and we're living a life here, but we're also living lives in other places. And so when you're consciously aware of working on releasing anything that no longer serves, some of the old traumas that may have been from this lifetime, a lot of times it could be from this lifetime, but it could be also proliferating from another lifetime, that is also being asked to be released. And many times when I'm working with my clients, there are situations where when we're working together and there is a trauma that had maybe run through like an ancestral line, that you can actually release and clear that line. The person can do that, and then it does not go forward into their children if they have children, or anybody else that comes from them, and then it actually releases it all the way back. So there's this this lightness to that ancestral line as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Denise, and thank you, Melissa, for your comments. Dima Sherrod, you're so right. We identify with labels so much that we forget who we are.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we will take more questions in a couple of minutes. I just want if we can talk about the one-on-one session activation that we are offering. It's 60 minutes private one-on-one galactic numerology activation session, which is called Activate Your Life in Wholeness. And I will share the link on the chat boxes, both on Zoom and YouTube. And so the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, DENISE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. And also on the link is on YouTube video description. So Denise, I would love if you can tell us what our audience can expect from the one-on-one session with you.
Yes, beautiful.
Thank
you. Thank you. And so I just want to even like kind of back up a little bit to lead into that. So how does galactic numerology assist you in being in states of wholeness consistently so that you're living your life joyfully and it's filling? So as I mentioned before, galactic numerology is new dimensional frequencies of numbers that reawakens and reconnects the wholeness of you and your beloved God presence. So it's the resurrection of that union to consciously remember your origins and your cosmic connection to all. And when you're in conscious connection with the elements of your origin, your cosmic origin, then that matrix that makes up who you are, the matrix of who you are, is also called your signature energy. And that's what informs your path and how you live your life. So what does all that mean? So you are energy. We are energy. We're connected to everything. And one-dimensional aspect of your energy is numerology. So that might sound funny, but it's like if you know or have heard of sacred geometry, that's also a part of it. The sacred geometry is like a structure, and it may look like lines, but it's also made up of numbers. So we are a sequencing of sacred number energies that express through us and through you, and you're connected to the sacred numerology. We are all connected to the sacred numerology of the cosmos. So what's an example of that? So an example would be like the golden mean, or like that golden ratio. So that's really a spiritual concept, and it represents divine proportion. So it's expressed mathematically. That's not my numerology in the energy realms is that's my genius, my mastery. When it comes to math, it's not my mastery, but there are these, there's a whole mathematical equation, and it's connected to geometric figures. This is what the golden mean or golden ratio is. And so it's connected to geometric figures like the pentagram or the dodecahedron, or so there's these sacred geometries. I mean, the pyramids. Robert Edward Grant, he's on Gaia TV, excuse me, and he talks about all these equations of the pyramids in Egypt, and how there's certain numerology of the foundation and the tallness, and then how it's connected to the stars. So it's all related in that way, and basically it's ever moving, it's changeable energy that accompanies every situation as it occurs. And then as we are evolving, it's informing, it's discovering, we're discovering more of ourselves. And then we continue to expand and evolve. We're all source expanding. Like that's what this cosmic origin is all about. Like I often say, imagine source as like this big, infinite ball of light and love energy, and then seeing like all of these sparks coming off, and those are unique aspects. That's what we are. And then that energy is in this physical body, the energy of source, our unique God presence or source presence. So as we're expanding source, because all is connected. So galactic numerology contains sacred codes. And so when it's activated within your system, they become tools for resurrection of the remembering and connection back into you as your God presence and self. And these codes of light and love energies, they contain high consciousness frequencies that assist you in stepping out of duality and into the wholeness of you. And so zero wholeness is the first activation in a powerfully transformative sacred number energy of galactic numerology of the 44 codes of awakening. So there's galactic numbers 0 through 44. And if you were to speak to any of my dear friends and clients who activate galactic numerology, they will tell you it is life-changing. And there are testimonials that you can read as well. And so your life in wholeness is about totality, it's about completeness and unity. And this informs every aspect of your life so that you're living from and in the higher octaves of coherence and togetherness. And so in relationship to yourself and others, and then this manifests in miraculous ways in every ways of your life. So the wholeness first is in relationship to yourself, and then that expresses in other relationships. The other relationships could be with people. It could be with your spirituality. It could be with abundance in your life. It could be with any area of your life. And so in this offering, we'll meet one-to-one, and you'll receive the activation of galactic numerology zero wholeness. And this is the initiatory activation. It's the amplifier code that resides in all of the galactic numbers. So there's the opportunity to go to activate 1 or 2 or 3, like keep going. Yet this one is the amplifier code. It's the beginning. It's the initiatory activation. And it results in the most amazing revolutionary shifts as you move on your ascension path. So in the session, you'll have a bespoke one-to-one direct galactic numerology activation of zero wholeness with me, with galactic numerology, the guides, with the being that's wholeness. And then we'll have divine channeled wisdom come through to assist you in creating your life in new ways from a place of wholeness. So in the particular session, we'll have a razor focused application to one particular area of your life that you'd like to apply wholeness to. And of course, you can apply it to many areas, but we'll be able to really dig down and deep and just bring that whole situation into wholeness. So you're living from the higher perspectives and dimensions, because now you have this new reconnection that informs how you live your life. So that's what that's all about.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Denise. For being available to our audience and offering this one-on-one activation. And I agree with what you said, like being in wholeness and embodying our wholeness can really be life-changing. Like it relates to everything. Like we create how we relate to others and how also we react to world events, because it changes totally the way we see life and we see all the events that are happening. And it starts like, instead of waiting for love, we start to become the source of love for ourselves and sharing that with others. And with time, we start attracting others as well on the same energy. So I feel it's a very important state of being to be in. So thank you very much for sharing your support. And so everyone, I really recommend, I invite you to work with Denise one-on-one and receive this activation. And the link again is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, DENISE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, and also the link on YouTube video description and the chat boxes. So thank you again, Denise.
And Mansef, I just want to thank you for bringing that forward, that concept that we become the source of that, and that's what emanates out from us. So what that brings us all the way around full circle, because what does that mean to embody your God presence? It means to be the source of everything. We are the source of everything that we need. And then we no longer are looking to the outside world. So to be in wholeness, we're never looking to the outside world to say, well, that's what completes me. It's really being in that sovereign state and becoming the source of all that we really desire and everything that we require in our life. Because when we're in wholeness with our God presence, we become the source of everything we need to fulfill our destiny, to live this life on the earth. So that's beautiful, and it's so key. So thank you for bringing that up, because that weaves in all the time with all my with my clients, and with the different ways that it's expressed. And yet just bringing that in, it solidifies that, I think, and it just really helps people to understand that even more. So yeah.
Thank you very much again. And can we continue with the questions?
Yes.
So Catherine, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi, Montse. It's
Hi, Catherine.
the old Katie. I have a new name, Catherine Ellie Grace now. And thank you, Montse, for bringing Denise on. And Denise, that was wonderful. And I just want to let everybody know that I am one of your students. I actually started working with Denise on one of Montse's shows, earlier shows. And I got her offer, and I believe that it just made such a difference that I am now working with her in a 3-month program, and I'm working on 0 to 9. And I just want to say what an amazing experience this has been for me. And Montse, you might even be able to speak to my energy, because the last time we spoke, it was probably in the toilet. And also to comment on your comment about loving yourself. I think that's been huge for me, because I didn't have love for myself. And this program has just shown me so many awarenesses, and I have shifted, and I feel like I'm in warp speed now. And it's just such a different life from March, when I started working with Denise, to today. And I'm just so excited. And Denise's energy is just so beautiful and so calming. And I just love working with her. So I just wanted to say that. And thank you again, Montse.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Catherine, for your feedback.
You're welcome.
For being
and thank
part
you,
of
Denise.
Oh, Catherine, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here today, because how do you explain it? And you just did. Your energy is so amazing. And I want to say that I just love, I love working with Catherine, and we've got, we're doing a program. So she's with someone else in the program as well. And we, we're working together, we're celebrating together, and just it's like, wow, I'm constantly amazed at at the power of the galactic number activations, and then how they just how they connect into life, and then all of a sudden something that was maybe let's use 3 flow, something that just was not in flow, whether it is self-love, or whether it is what do I want to do in the world? What is my career or my spiritual business, or whatever it is, or relationships. We've been going through all of that. And it's so amazing for me. I'm just so grateful and amazed at the transformation I've seen through Catherine. I really am. And through all my clients, and just working together, it's just, and it helps me to grow as well. So thank you.
Well, it's been amazing. So right back at you, Denise. Yeah. And when you mentioned relationships, when I started changing my own relationship, a long-standing problem with my kids, issues with my kids started to change, and it's almost miraculous. So yeah, it's just been amazing. And I love working with you as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Getting all kind of chills, Catherine. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Well,
thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
And we have a question from Linda. When in when in the divine flow, are there practices you use to integrate and embody in a more fuller way throughout our entire being and all bodies?
Yeah, boy, that's another one of those questions that's like it could be answered infinitely. So Linda, what's coming through? What's coming through is that there is, it's for you, it's like, it's this knowing to just keep going, to keep connecting. And then, so what I'm almost seeing is like this sacred geometry, like from like you're at a point, and then there's, let's say that there's 10 lines going out from this point that are all roads. And then you just, when you're in the flow, that divine flow, you know that you go on a particular line, and then it takes you to another point. And that point is an expansion point. And then from that point, there's like maybe 10 other opportunities. And of course, there's infinite opportunities. Yet you just, to be in the flow, it informs you, okay, you take this path now. And then it takes you to another point, and then you've expanded from that point. So for example, you may be going in a particular direction of your life, and then all of a sudden it opens up, and there's like all these other possibilities that you didn't even realize that just open up for you. And then it informs you, and then maybe the direction you were heading, you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm going to go in this direction. So that also gives you the freedom to be creative, like to really tap into your creativity. So that's what's coming through for you, Linda. And then also for anybody else that resonates with as well. So thank you for that question.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Denise. And thank you also, Linda, for your question.
Yeah.
You have, it's Melissa, I think it's feedback. Yes, thank you. I appreciate your sharing of your wisdom. Also going to help someone today who is sick. I know if I believe I will catch it, I may. However, if I change my truth, again, I am whole. Beautiful.
Oh, yes. And what freedom is that? What freedom is that? Is in that, really. That is freedom. That you're like, wow, I can go help. And then if you find yourself like wobbling when you come out of there, and somebody says something like, you were around them, what? You could, okay, then just bring yourself back to center and allow yourself to know that whatever they are going through is what they're going through. And it's not what you're going through. So just allow yourself to go inwards and to recenter yourself, and to see that the higher purpose is that whatever's going on with them is them releasing. Because even if people are not conscious about what's going on, like they're not spiritually awakened is the term I'm going to use, but awakened. If they're not awakened, although I will tell you, so many people are awakening now, and they may not know it, but you may say something and then they may go, oh, and start like, oh, like that was a different way, like starting to listen instead of shutting it out. So anyways, that came from that as well. So yeah. Bless you. Yeah. Bless you. And you can call in also, like the source of the healing within yourself, and then call in the healing angels and whatever beings that you work with as well to help in the highest and best way. The law of grace is about calling in from the heart, from love, and then it expresses for the other person, however the other person chooses to receive it. So we never even have to worry about that. Like why aren't they receiving it, or how are they receiving it? We just, it's all good. We just do what we do, be who we be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa. And yeah, just I remembered like maybe two small experiences I had with my dad and my mother. Like my dad, he got a flu maybe last year, and I postponed visiting him to not catch the flu, but then I got it anyway. And another time, my mother who got it, and I was taking breakfast to her bed, etc. And she was telling me that I will catch the virus. I was telling her, no, instead you will catch good health. And it went like all well. Just was very normal. And she healed after that, and I didn't get anything. So it's really amazing how, when we change the words we use and also our belief, it really affects how our body reacts to what's happening.
Yes, words are energy. Words are energy. And using words that are in wholeness, like joy and happiness and freedom and love and compassion and alignment, like all those words, like that just keeps you in that higher frequency. And again, the words that we use are a certain energy, and that's what we attract to ourselves through words as well as thoughts or emotions and feelings. So yeah, thank you. Ooh. So that is a beautiful and amazing example. So thank you for that, Mansaf. Thank you.
Thank you. And Linda Sherrod, thank you. So grateful and appreciative.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
And so Denise, do you have maybe last message before we end the call?
Yeah, I want to thank all of you for being here. And I love to hear and tap into the energy, but I also just love to hear where everyone is at, because, and then the sharing, like, I just love that you do this, Mansaf, because all the sharing, it's really important for us to also, like somebody asks a question and then wisdom comes through for them in particular that's bespoke for them. And yet there's also there's some nugget or some energy of it that connects to somebody in a little different way, but it's all, so it's just, it's beautiful. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you, Mansaf, with your divine uniqueness, and with all of you who are tuning in now, and all of you who are tuning in at another now moment. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'm very grateful to you, Denise. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, for the inspiration and the guidance. It's like all the calls, it's been like really, really inspiring for us and very, eye-opening. So I really love the messages that you always bring. So thank you for doing that, for your support and the time you spend with us. So thank you.
Thank you. And I was going to say too, like, if you are feeling any resonance to the offer, really just listen with your heart and just see what one activation does. It's just amazing. Like, it really is amazing to reconnect back into wholeness and just see how that shifts and changes your life. So if you're getting a little nudge, like, this might be for me, then just allowing that to open up, because I would love to work with you and connect with you and to witness the transformations as well. Yeah. Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you again, everyone. Denise. And everyone, thank you so much for co-creation with us this call today. Thank you for those who asked the questions. Thank you for the feedback, comments. Yeah, and again, I highly recommend that you work with Denise and sign up for the one-on-one wholeness activation private session with her. It's a 1-hour session, and the link again is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, DENISE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. Also, the link will be on YouTube video description and also on Zoom and YouTube chat boxes. Catherine, Gerard, thank you, Denise, and Monsef. Thanks for bringing so many quality people. Thank you, Catherine. And thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Much love and blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.